Hey guys, Potatoes here. Shadow of War has recently released a new difficulty setting called Gravewalker. With its release, I thought it was about time to do some side-by-side comparisons of damage and attack rate. There are other factors involved with increasing difficulty. For example, worms will drop bombs as they run from you in Gravewalker, and you'll have no last chances until you invest in the right upgrade. However, this video is all about what's important: the combat comparison. So keep that in mind, it's not science. There's some factors that impact the experiment, so just take the damage and the times as an example and not facts. So let's begin.
Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
The first thing to note is I'm wearing all level 60 legendary armor and weapons. The Outlaw chest piece is equipped and it has 606 maximum health. I also have no health gems equipped or any gear that further reduces damage. Let's first go over the time it'll take for a grunt to kill you on each difficulty setting. Starting with Gravewalker, each swing does nearly half your health and damage. Take into account that he's also attacking much faster as well, and that only gives you 3.56 seconds if you don't defend against a lone grunt. Almost 3 times the time it took in Gravewalker. Nemesis is just behind with 11.09 seconds. Nemesis was the game's highest difficulty setting until now, and this is leagues behind the damage and the attack speed of Gravewalker. Normal mode clocks in at 26.53 seconds. This is a reasonable amount and probably is the best setting for new people and those who want to feel like a badass but still have the risk of death. Easy coming in at over 10 times the amount it took to die on Gravewalker at 37.10 seconds. Easy is just that, easy. Enemies attack much slower, giving you time to react. And if their hits do land, they barely knock off a sliver of health. So now let's take a look at exactly how much health one attack from a grunt will take off. Looking at easy difficulty first, we can see that one hit roughly takes off about 8% of your HP. That means you have quite a bit of time to stroll on out of the fight and get some health back. Normal takes roughly 11% of your HP off, yet again, very forgiving. Nemesis takes off roughly 14% of your health off, so it seems the jump in difficulty increases damage output by roughly 3% in grunts. Except for when it comes to Gravewalker. You guys asked for harder and Mola said, you know what, you want hard? Well, grunts now hit you for roughly 48% of your HP at level 60. So how many hits can you actually survive? Let's take a look. On Gravewalker, you don't have much time to react. Within 3 hits, you will be dead. It's closer to 2 hits than 3, so even if you take a little bit of residual damage, you're dropping in 2. Nemesis is more forgiving at 7 hits, but keep in mind, if there's more than one grunt on you, 7 doesn't feel like much. Save with Gravewalker, if you can't block both the attacks swinging at you at the same time, you're gonna drop in 1 hit. Normal trails behind at a very reasonable 9 hits. Now this is the perfect amount for a new player, like I stated before. Easy, way behind Gravewalker with 12 hits. What have we learned from all this? The difference between Nemesis and Gravewalker is astronomical. Gravewalker grunts hit over 3 times harder than they did on Nemesis and will kill you over 3 times faster. The only reason there isn't an even bigger gap is because things like the Nemesis Orc didn't need to move as far to start swinging again in the test, and also the sheer amount of overkill the last hit does on Gravewalker. So now let's take a look briefly at how much a captain will do in damage. The damage increase seems to be almost directly comparable to the grunt test, so I won't go into numbers, but take a look. This captain doesn't have great strength. This is a hit from a level 65 captain on easy, normal, Nemesis and Gravewalker. As you can see, the difference in damage between easy, normal and Nemesis is a couple of percent. The difficulty comes from their attack speed, giving you less and less time to react the higher the difficulty goes. However, this is not the case with Gravewalker. A level 65 Uruk on Gravewalker difficulty will one-shot kill you, and will one-shot kill you often with very little time to react. It will be suicide to take on a captain with backup on Gravewalker difficulty and extremely difficult alone. So how does a mob of Uruk perform together on each difficulty? Let's take a look. So let's start with easy and normal. Uruk on easy and normal attack very rarely, waiting a ridiculous amount of time before coming at you. They also very rarely attack together, waiting their turn so you have time to block and dodge attacks, and making unaccounted for range damage okay to deal with. Nemesis is where things get much more difficult. Orcs on Nemesis follow less rules when it comes to waiting their turn and will almost always attack at the same time, forcing you to double counter and roll more often or face damage. Gravewalker spins that on its head, making it so grunts don't really have rules when it comes to waiting, all attacking you whenever they feel like it. Ranged grunts will not wait their turn and will relentlessly fire at you. It would be too reckless to jump into a mob on Gravewalker, and if you're fighting a commander, you best separate him from the pack, as even testing this was enough to shake my head and say no, not playing this on the Coliseum mission in Act 1 on this difficulty. So there you have it, the combat differences between easy, normal, Nemesis and Gravewalker difficulties. Keep in mind there are other factors at play that make Nemesis and Gravewalker harder, like improved AI, less last chances, more ambushes, less saviors and more Uruk HP, and more and more and more and more and more. This isn't science, but it seems like Gravewalker difficulty is at least 3 times harder than Nemesis, which, when you think about it, is actually ridiculous. Like they skipped 2 difficulties between it or something. But I guess you will ask for it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this was helpful and entertaining. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that little bell next to it too. I'll be releasing a ton more content soon. Also, join my Discord. It's purely for you guys to chat with me and each other, ask questions and participate in competitions and in games. So, I'm Dates and I'll see you soon.